We're going to get started. And there's nothing better to start an underground event than to be at the Penthouse. Okay? What do you think? So please take time to take some pictures, enjoy yourself. And there is one golden rule. You ready? The golden rule is you have to engage. All right? So when somebody says, do you agree with this? Raise your hand and say yes. All right? If you disagree with it, go, no. Can you do that? Yes. Oh, I love those people that have been here before. All right, so I took some notes just because they tell me I have to stay on time and things. But for many of you, you know me. For many others, you don't. I'm really excited to say that we have quite the turnout today, and we have people from all over the industry in all different types of roles, and so please use this to network, to be involved, to get excited. The Underground was started as a way, it started as a client conference. So it was people that we were close to and cared about, and we got together and we said, what are the things we're not talking about? What do we need to work on? And as time went on, it grew into more of a movement. And we've had some wonderful things come out of that. And you're going to see that today's program, for all of our awkwardness of coming back together, you know, do we put on a mask? Do I lead with a hug? Do I put out my elbow? You know, I think we're all going through that, and we're going to go through it for the next few days. But with that in mind, we're going to start big picture. And Shazia is going to kick us off, and she's going to mention that it only takes one person to start a revolution. All right? And then we're going to have conversations around, oh, God, or good riddance. And I haven't decided which of those I fit into, okay? I am definitely an oh godder. She's been around. We won't talk about how long. But the reality is the transition that's happening is happening in a way that we may be losing some of those values that we care about. Some of those people that came together and made sure cooperation happened. But good riddance, because there's such talent in this room. Look around you. Look at the leaders in this room. We have an incredible opportunity to move forward. And then we're going to talk about member wellness and member well-being and the transformation. And Maurice tells me that he wants to start a revolution. So, hey, if Maurice says that, y'all, we're in for it. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then Samantha's going to talk to us about how we can do it. That it takes one person that says, hey, I want to do this, but it takes a tribe. It takes all of us to make a difference. And so we're going to go from there. And then we're going to get into the whole idea of we did it. And I want to talk about that just briefly here. When we talk about, many of you may have read my article where I said, I'm kind of tired of being tired, and I want a GSD. Did anybody read that article? And do you know what GSD means? Okay, one more time.
I added it to my LinkedIn profile, Get Shit Done.
Get shit done. So, of course, I wouldn't cuss. So, it's get stuff done. But in some ways, it was an interesting moment for me because it meant potentially that I wasn't empathetic to the sorrow in the world and to the fact that we're all trying to get past situations. Last year was a year of loss for me. I lost family members, I lost best friends, I lost purpose at different times, and I realized that I was struggling with even doing my to-do list. You know, oh my gosh, what do I have to get done today? And then there was a moment of clarity, and that moment of clarity said, boy, it feels good to check something off of my to-do list. There's this like accomplishment, the sense of award to myself that I did it. And I was talking to Patsy, and Patsy made the comment that she's adding things to her to-do list so that she can check them off. And I thought that's really where we are. So that's where we are today. And one other moment on that. I had the opportunity to work with World Council and to go to Ukraine a number of years ago. And we started a sister society there, and we worked with the project. So this was another moment for me in the last week where I went, does it really matter, the work we do? All right? And I just have come to the conclusion that if we touch one life, and maybe there's one life that we touched in Ukraine that decided to save money and then make sure the kids were safe and in a place where they'll be taken care of, or they were inspired by it. So our goal is to touch one life, all right? And to have some fun doing that. So I wanted to address kind of the serious things before we get into the really serious things and stir it up. So let's start with the whole idea of who's going to stand up after today's session? All right. How many of you are already standing up? How many of you walk away from a fight? Nobody? Of course we don't fight, you know? We just are politically incorrect at times. All right, we've got a tight agenda, so I am so excited. I want one further thing. It's Keith Stoltemeyer from the CEO at Connected that's responsible for this whole TikTok thing. He didn't know it, but I'm now going to let him know that he sent me an email, or he was talking in one of our conversations, and he said, if there's a bullet that's longer than 4 bullets, I don't want to read it. And I thought to myself, man, is that true? How many of us start our day with just going, damn, you know, delete, delete. And so I got to thinking about, we have to reach a new audience, all right? So it's not about the TikTok platform. It's about us being able to effectively send a message in a way that people will pay attention. And there's nobody better to GSD, all right, than Brandy Stankovic. And so I think she's here. I want to invite up to the stage Brandy, Dr. Brandy. She's an organizational change expert, motivational speaker, artist, mommy. She models the way of leadership. She absolutely inspires me, and I'm so grateful that I have her on my team. So, welcome, Brandy.
Good morning. Welcome to Washington, D.C., and welcome to the Underground. I don't know about all of you, but I'm really excited to be back in person. How about you guys? Yes. And so as some friends keep coming in, if you happen to have a seat next to you that's empty or something like that, tell them, come on, friends, come scoot into the middle and sit next to me. It's not awkward at all. Come. And so if there are people, just raise your hand and say, come on, come. There's seats, because there's people that are looking around for it. All right. With that, I was a little out of practice. I don't know about all of you. As much as I have been traveling as much as socially acceptable and as much as business has allowed for the last couple years, but it was still a little weird going through the airport. I don't know about you guys. And now we're all in this weird place of like, do we hug? Do we not hug? Do we high five? Do we wear masks? Do we not wear masks? And I think it's going to be like that throughout the rest of the conference. But I'm really excited to be here. And there's this whole concept of TikTok thought. And so some of you are probably thinking, what is a TikTok thought? And I think that when it comes to TikTok thought, you fall into 3 categories. One category is, when it comes to TikTok, that you're either making TikToks or watching them, right? You are making fun of the kids out there making the TikToks. Or you just leaned over to someone and said, what's the ticker talker? Right? And so TikTok in general, though, is a platform of relevant, bite-sized, consumable information delivered in a generational way. And it's all done in 60 seconds. And so I thought to myself, what else happens in 60 seconds? And so I have a few stats here that I want to pull up. What happens in 60 seconds? And I'm sure you've seen some of these stats online. So what happens in 60 seconds? 167 million videos on TikTok are watched. 695,000 hours are watched on YouTube. I know it. 900,000 Zoom calls. All of you are on them. Yeah. $1 million are spent online every 60 seconds. And in reality, humans are being impacted by the economy, right? And people are maybe choosing not to be in their jobs. Humans are being impacted by injustice, sexism, racism every minute too. And in 60 seconds, the Rams caught that final touchdown. Right? Heck, in 60 seconds, there's a variant on a new variant on a new variant of COVID, or maybe a mask mandate is instituted or lifted or both, right? I think in 60 seconds, a lot can occur in our lives, in our loved ones' lives, and even in 60 seconds, we can find out about Russia invading the Ukraine. The last couple years have been rough. Sue talked about it, we all felt it. Don't blink, right? Things have occurred, and we need to all be here for one another. But it's also about what we take forward with us, and how we execute and how we implement moving forward. And the main thing today is we're going to come together, we're going to do that. And this week is all about that. And we're going to talk about financial wellness now or never. And we're going to talk about legacy leaders and how we're transitioning to the next generation. And we're also going to talk about the success that's happening and how we're executing that and how we can build on that success. And we're going to talk about the fact that complexity is the enemy of execution. So let's make things so simple that we do get some shit done. Right? And so that's the challenge for all of us today.